Welcome back to Freedom to Learn podcast. My name is Guru Eleshwarapu. I'm the CEO of Silicon Valley for You, and we are based out of San Francisco. Today, we are talking to Jai Sanghrajka, who has been with Silicon Valley for You last 2 years. He also worked as an intern, and so we are going to discuss his journey and how he got interested in coding and the whole 9 yards. And for those who are new to this podcast, please subscribe and press the like button so you get a lot of more interesting content going forward. And so from people from different walks of life. So with that, hey, welcome, Jay.
Hi.
All right. So for the viewers, why don't you tell about yourself and also how you got interested in coding, to begin with?
Yeah, so I'm 16 years old. I'm about to be a junior in high school. And I started out with technology when I was around 7 years old. And most of the time, I would just be messing around on phones and tablets, like playing games and watching YouTube videos, which I guess like really stuck with me since I still do that a lot now. And when you're at that age, understanding technology is like way harder because you kind of have to ask questions that not a lot of people had answers to. So a lot of getting into computers and devices was really just Googling anything I had questions on. And eventually I had to pick electives for middle school, and I saw an app development and web development class. And I took both of those before middle school ended, and I really enjoyed those both of those classes. So I'm on track to be taking two more AP computer science classes before I finish high school.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So one thing I always, so I just mentioned to you earlier also, um, you know, uh, I did the same thing. I mean, that's how it is. The system is built around bringing you a lot of skills. Like I said, those are all tools. It basically teaches what that is. It may not teach why that is and how you can use that. So simple things like, let's say if you have a math formula, a square plus b square equals c square. If I ask you right now, I'm pretty sure you know what that is. If I ask you where is it, where is it getting used, how can you apply that and create something? I don't know if you know the answer, and most of the people don't know. Yeah, yeah, I also don't know. Don't get me wrong. But I did 6 times in my career to get through the exams, and probably NASA is using it, or construction people are using, civil engineering people probably using it, or I don't know, some maybe mechanically. You never get a insight into why you had to learn. I mean, it's good to know what it is, okay? No, don't get me wrong. And if it just stays there, it's just a dry information that you potentially can never use in your life, and which is not very good because that sort of doesn't improve your curiosity. Whereas when it comes to coding, as you said, mobile apps and whatnot, and then Python and all these things, you can learn why and how immediately. And you can create something. You can just print hello world, right? That's itself is, it shows you that, okay, this is what coding does. And then from there to all the way to whatever, a lot of cool things. And in fact, as I said before, we are developing a lot of projects in machine learning and some of the web and mobile applications. So those, when you do those, then you really understand the use case, the problem solving skills. If you start understanding how to solve a problem, you're going to do very well, regardless of what you do in academics and beyond. So that's our motivation behind this whole program. So with that, right, I know you have one more year to go. Have you ever thought about, hey, this is what I want to do, and this is the college I want to go?
So my top college right now is UCLA. And I want to like major in computer science and then hopefully minor in business or communications. Because in high school, at least currently right now, I will have taken one film class, and I'm really interested in film as like a side part of my life, and then a business class. So that would hopefully help in the minor of college. And then I feel like since computer science is only getting more advanced as the years go on, I feel like keeping up with technology is something I want to do regardless if I had computer science classes or not. So I think my plans beyond college would be to like actually provide my services to the world rather than like watch from the sidelines. So I really think majoring in computer science would help me a lot with getting to that goal.
Yeah, fantastic. So, in everything you said, tech plays a significant role in both business and film. And when it comes to film, I mean, everything is pretty much tech, including music. So anyway, so there is tons of animation. Besides that, even the making production of the movies are being done, and tech is playing massive role. And um, so I think if you understand all those three, then so that's it. I mean that's it. That's entertainment right there. And film plus business plus tech. That's that's the formula for being in entertainment industry, which is obviously highly successful, very lucrative in the world, regardless of where it is. And also, one cool thing I always say is that everything you mentioned, they're all global. In other words,
Yeah.
if you learn those, if you are master or you're good at those, you can just move, you can go and live anywhere. And if you know tech, you can just take the laptop and go, or you can leave the laptop and buy a laptop there. You know what I mean? So, um, whereas in a lot of other professions, let's say medicine or accounting or anything that comes under regulations of certain governments, so you can just take your talents and then go somewhere else, and you still have to be certified in the local governments and the whole 9 yards. So with that, you use tremendous mobility for somebody to and to move around if that's of their interest. So yeah, and then so if that is the case, now one thing I'm very glad is that you seem to be very clear on what you want to do in both in college and beyond, which is great. And to be honest, many times a lot of people don't have the clarity, and for many reasons. But now that you have that clarity, my next question is, um, so the school education that you're attending at the moment in high school, and the education that you're looking to do in college, do you think it's going to help pursue your passion? If so, just explain a little bit more. If not, just point out things that you think are missing.
Yeah, so I think school is really like helpful with the social aspects of having a job and like communicating with others, because having your own like projects with your own team, I think middle school and high school is really a place where you get to like talk about your likes and what you think about during the entire day. So that will really help with like connecting with your team. And I think a lot of schools put more of like memorization over creativity and like everyday thinking. And I think coding is, it's kind of based on having like an idea of what you want to do. And if you like aren't like coming up with these ideas a lot of the time, then it's kind of hard to like code something that you want. So I think schools should be maybe putting a little bit more of priority on um, really like creating your own ideas and then having the ability to expand upon that rather than just like memorizing some formula that you don't actually know what it's um, for a test that you probably won't even remember as soon as you're finished.
Exactly. Man, you put it succinctly. I mean, that's the example I was talking about earlier: a square plus b square equals c square. You're absolutely right. That once exam is done, you work very hard to forget about it. So at least I did. Not that particular formula, apparently I still remember, but the ones that I don't remember right now, because for obvious reasons, because I just wasn't thrilled to go through that, the rigor to get through the exams. And it's, I felt, at least personally, I felt a little rigid. But I guess, long story short, it's not. I don't think, we don't want to be. I mean, at least I don't want. It's not about being critical about the system, right? So it's to answer, for instance, the certain things that you mentioned. In order for schools to provide that creativity, the faculty and professors or teachers or whoever, they have to have a connection to the real world. And if they don't, for obviously they can't bring creativity. And as a result, it's not about knowing or not knowing. It doesn't work that way. It's a mindset. It's a process. It's not like, you just, okay, let's do Facebook. It's not that easy. It's a mindset that, drove someone from college all the way to what we see in metaverse today, right? It's evolved over a period of time, and you probably would have started with very small thing, and however it happened. Point I'm trying to make is that mindset, and that the having that mindset over a period of time translates to innovation. And it's not a boot camp. It's not like, okay, let's do a one semester creativity. There is no such thing. I mean, right? You know what I mean? So there is no subject called creativity, right? I hope not. I mean, I never heard. Maybe there is. Even if there is one, I don't know how they can come up with curriculum for that. So it's like catch-22, right? If you're calling the subject creativity, and then you're coming with a fixed curriculum which is not creative. So it has to be dynamic, right? So long story short, I think that disconnect is going to stay with education system for good, right? And it's like like, for instance, you said UCLA. By the way, you should watch podcast. One of our interns, his name is Max. I don't know if you know him. He is joining UCLA Computer Science this fall, just so you know. I guess the point, even if you go to UCLA, with all due respect, just think for a second. The reason I'm explaining all this is because you have very good clarity. I want you to have a little bit more information if you didn't have it. So let's say if you look at the professor, especially in computer science, did he work for Google? Did he work for Tesla? Did he work for any company? Those are, big company. I mean, high flying, but any company for that matter, they didn't. So they have some PhDs and whatnot years ago, decades ago, and then they are teaching, and so they don't have any connection to real world. As a result, there is no continuity. Not only they can't bring what you're looking for, bottom line. So there is a fixed curriculum, and there is whatever, you just do that. You learn bunch of languages, bunch of this, bunch of that, and compile, design operating systems and whatnot, and then you come out, and industry is somewhere else. In that 4 years, industry moves 10 times faster, or even more, 100 times faster. Your dad is in the industry. You can speak to him. So as a result, when you come, there is a massive gap for both tangible skills and intangible skills. And then for you to get come up to speed, to catch up, if you decide to get into the industry after undergrad, it's going to take several years, at least 2-3 years, for you to catch up and make sense of what it is and what works for me, and is that what I want. For instance, let's say you get into fintech, so you realize, oh, this is not what I want to do, and then I want to do gaming. So you get into the game, and then you lose another 2 years. So it's like a trial and error. There is no clarity. That's the point of Silicon Valley for you. We want to bring that to colleges so that you can see and you can identify what works best for you before you get into the world, at least so that you can save a bunch of years, at least some of those years. Let's say if you end up wasting or spending, rather, whatever you call it, 5 to 7 years, hopefully that will be 3 to 4 years, something to that effect. So that's our focus. So anyway, now that you did our academy and you also did some mentorship programs, do you want to talk about those and see, you know, how you felt it and um, and all the so I'll speak about the mentorship program in a minute, but I want to hear from you first.
Yeah, so the class that I took at the beginning was a Python class, and it was like beginners to Python because
Right.
I hadn't really done stuff like that before. So I think that, well, that program really helped me a lot with like learning terminology and like doing some basic coding and stuff like that. And I was actually able to code some like pretty interesting projects like tic-tac-toe and hangman and stuff like that. And those were like near the end of the course. So those were like pretty like complicated kind of stuff. So I think a lot of that like 6 month part of that class really helped with learning the basics and having the understanding to create something that you want to make. So I think that was like really a lot helpful in terms of learning Python for the future. So yeah, I really liked taking that class.
Yes, yeah, sounds good. So other thing I wanted to mention is that our philosophy of continuous learning is you must be a mentor while being mentored by someone else. In other words, you should be a mentor and mentee simultaneously. That applies to everybody, me included. I can't just sit and say, I'm this, and if I stop learning, I'm going to be obsolete in no time. Especially in tech, you're out, fairly quickly. And also, so you also have to mentor someone, and because you really learn when you mentor someone, right? For instance, you taught Python classes, you did a lot of camps, probably you would have taught 50 to 100 students if I add up all the camps and classes. That's it. The experience you gain, that probably you don't see it, may not see it, I don't know, you probably saw it, that intangible benefit that you get is tremendous, because that's when you really learn, in my opinion, as I said before, whether it's project or mentorship. Because when you're mentoring, you have to prepare yourself, number one. Number two is you have to present and make sure the other person is understanding and learning from you, which is very important. And otherwise, you're going to know very immediately. They'll say, okay, I'm not able to understand what you're saying. The third is you have to be able to deal with real-time situations. Somebody says, hey, blah, blah is not working. My something is not, for instance, I'm not able to, my laptop froze. God knows, so many. So those situations that you run into cannot be simulated. There is no training program for that. The only way you learn is by doing it.
Yeah.
Period. There is no, see, I've been running this business for some time. I understand a lot of things, right? How these things go. I can come up with so many metrics saying that you should do this, you should do that. So you have to comb your hair, start the meeting 5 minutes before, yada yada. So I can come up with 100 things. 101st thing is going to happen, something that we didn't anticipate. So there are a lot of hilarious situations we had last summer. There were students signed up, and they call instructor and say, "Oh, I didn't know that we need a computer for this." So, okay, so but you still have to. You can't just laugh at them, right? You still have to be humble and then nicely explain that yes, this is a computer class, and for you need a computer to log in. You can't just log in on the phone and listen. And so that just happened to be a funny one I just mentioned. But point I'm trying to make is that these things cannot be simulated. These cannot be taught in the classroom setup. The only way you learn is by doing it. This is where, this is the reason we call Silicon Valley for You, is to make you do. While you are doing, you learn, period. And some of those things, you have to run into it, you have to face it. Sometimes it may not work to your advantage. However, when you come back and talk to us, when we discuss, so now you have confidence. Next time something like that happens, you know what to do. And anything for that matter, So a lot of, most probably you included, a lot of our interns right now or in the future, if I give you a opportunity to go and stand in front of a bunch of people and do something, I don't think they have any fear whatsoever anymore. Just they can walk in because they have so much fear, training so many hundreds and thousands of, there are interns trained over thousands and thousands of students, and they, for them it's just yet another day, just go and do their thing. It's not just the stage fright thing, it's all about ability to be confident, and also ability to grasp what needs to be done. That's I call it problem solving. That's the situation you have to elevate yourself to deal with it, right? Those opportunities teach you. That's, I call it education, in my humble opinion. I your first step, you still have to know what Python is if you're going to do Python. Don't get me wrong, but that if you stop there, I learned Python, I got the score, for instance, EAPCS Java. I got the score. I'm pretty sure you get a decent score, no doubt about it. And then say I know Java, that's a misconception. Just because I get resumes all the time. I did AP Computer Science, or I'm graduate from UCLA. I interviewed a guy from Purdue. So on the other day, so when I see the resume, there are like 6 programming languages, haven't done anything with any of them. And so I tell them, just take one, walk me through from A to Z. And if I have a coffee business, okay, I have a coffee business, tell me how you can help me. 99.9% of the people don't know the answer. I can tell you right now. I'm not talking about Starbucks. I'm talking about a coffee place where I just sell coffee to the individuals. If I ask Starbucks, supply chain, yeah, I get it. But it's a very simple, and 99%. But if I tell them, hey, can you write the web form, and then can you do this? Can you take the customer information and then feed that to them, and then tell them the price? If I ask, probably they'll follow through and say, okay, I can use Python or whatever, Flask or something. But that is a problem. And this is the point I'm trying to make. These are the students that are getting out of top schools. Purdue is one of the top schools, just so you know. So anyway, that's great. So we sincerely hope that you take advantage of those opportunities. I know you did a couple of summer camps this summer also, if I'm right.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. We are glad that you are taking advantage of the platform. So the last question I usually ask is the fun question. I'm pretty sure you have something. So what is a piece of technology that doesn't exist today that you think you wish you had?
Yeah, I spent a decent amount of time thinking about this because a lot of it is like these things, some of these things like exist, but they're just like really, really expensive and kind of hard to find. But I think one thing that is probably a little bit like harder to get when you're like in this position rather than like being like Elon Musk having a lot of money to like pay for something built for you. I think like
Sure.
holographic displays.
Oh, okay.
um yeah, it would be like holographic displays having like some place where you can put yourself like a 3D image of yourself in a different space meanwhile you're back at home. So like if you wanted to like let's say a kid was
You want
sick
to be
and
in
they
two
had to go to
places at the
school.
same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
If a kid was like sick at home and they really needed to go to school, and yeah, it's like you can
So
get like a
you just put
walking
a guy there,
hologram.
yeah. So you put your clone there and say, okay, I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you don't want to be in the school, and what,
Or
I don't know
true,
anymore. Okay,
but
get this guy,
yeah.
put that guy there. Okay. Well, you're a clever guy. You're a very smart guy. So that's funny. Yeah. So is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I think so. I think that would really help.
No, I think that's, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it happens to that level. However, there are few things half the way are going to happen for sure. For instance, I'll tell you right now, the session we had right now will be much different in 5 to 10 years. If we have same session, pretty much I'll be sitting in your room, or if I invite you, you're sitting next to me here,
Yeah.
although you're not sitting next to me here, and vice versa. So that's going to happen for sure, and it's almost there. It's already kind of happening. And the other one, the cloning has a lot of other. Anyway, the cloning is a technical word. I shouldn't be using it. I guess I know what you mean. So you want a representative who looks and behaves like you there,
Yeah.
right? So um, I I don't know. I mean, if see, yeah, there are a lot of complications, there are implications and all that. But long story short, technology-wise, it possibly can do it for sure. It may not be able to do a DNA type cloning. That's that. But other one you mentioned can be done, and I think it may be done because it's just a tool. You're not being there. It's just a you take your, like you said, 3D view and then submit in the form, and that shows up in the classroom, something to that effect. So um, yeah, but that's an interesting thought. But when you started saying, "Hey, if I had money," I thought you wanted to buy Twitter. So
Oh,
might as well, So why not? Just take it over, right? No, I'm just joking. Yeah, who knows? I mean, yeah. So let's see. So he's not going to buy it. So it's still up in the market. So
yeah.
all right. So hey, this is great, and I know we spoke via WhatsApp many times, but this is my first time directly conversating with you. You're a very
Yeah.
bright guy, and one thing I really admire is that with very young age you are very clear on what you want to do. Even if you don't end up doing that, but having that clarity would help and to pursue and be focused. That's the keyword. When you don't know what you want to do, then there's no focus. You're all over the map, right? um, so that helps you with the focus, and you are in the right area, and especially what you want to do when all those three disciplines. You're in California. I mean, you're very lucky. So to be here and having those aspirations, you just go to LA, you get that, and then you come to Silicon Valley, you get all the tech. Your parents are in the tech industry, so you have everything. And so, yeah, so as I said before, we work with now 150 colleges, including UCLA. And we also signed MOU with Haas School from UC Berkeley, um, are at least very close, I think, and hopefully we'll get it done within a week or two. Um, so if you have any interest in doing some of these 3D type projects, because we are venturing into video games, so we are partnering with companies to bring video games. I just looked up their website, and they are very much interested in working with us. It brings both 3D and some kind of metaverse, but coding looks more like Scratch. It's a block level coding, but it also has JavaScript based. Um, so we'll see how the platform looks. If it is good, then we are gonna take over. So partner not take over. And so I'll be speaking to them most probably on Monday. So long story short, we are going to have a lot of projects, and you can keep looking at on sparkcloud.com. You get to see some of the products we don't have NDA. We put it out there. And recently we did Student 360 using machine learning and Python. You can see the demo. So check it out. And so let us know once you're interested. Otherwise, thank you very much. I really appreciate your time. And we'll speak again very soon.
Okay. Yeah.